you guys, this is Dee Edwards. I am your favorite senior tax professional of Accurate Tax Services, and I'm also a tax business coach where I help taxpreneurs to start, grow, and build six-figure tax firms. To learn more about the services we provide, you can go to irstaxacademy.com. So listen, on today's broadcast, this video is specifically for tax business owners, taxpreneurs, or even tax preparers who are working with other individuals. So you may be bringing other people underneath your brand or underneath your EFIN number to partner alongside with you. But it's still very important that you understand that there's an onboarding process that you still need to follow as a tax business owner. And the reason why I want to share this with you is because there are times where people enter into the tax industry and their motives are not always pure. Their motives are not always just legitimate, especially when it comes to this industry. So you as the tax business owner, it is important that you protect your clients, you protect every person that is involved in your tax office, all right? And so I'm going to discuss with you guys in this broadcast about your onboarding process and what it is that you need to also have a part of your package, a part of your onboarding process when you are bringing on individuals to work underneath your brand, okay? All right, so the first thing that I want to make sure that you guys have, I always tell people that when you are bringing other people on, it is important that you establish that part as if you are working in HR, as a human resource advisor, human resource consultant. So these are a few things that you need to make sure that you have in your file. First of all, you need to have valid picture ID. You need to have a valid picture ID of tax preparers who are working under your EFIN. Have a valid picture ID. Second of all, you need to have a valid Social Security card. You need to have the actual card on file, because let me tell you why these two are important. Because the third thing that you'll need to have is a W-9. Because at the end of the year, if you are bringing on contractors, let's say, for instance, that you are bringing on contractors to work underneath your brand. If you don't have their name spelled correctly, if you don't have the Social Security number correctly, then guess what? When you send out that when you send out that 1099 NEC, it needs to have their Social Security number and their name on there. So let's say if you try to process it and it's not correct, guess what the IRS will do? They'll send a notification to you saying that the information that you provided to the IRS was incorrect. Now, let me make sure that you guys understand that when you have tax preparers, especially when there are contractors working underneath your brand, it is important that you understand that you give them a 1099 NEC. It's no longer considered a 1099 miscellaneous. So you give them a 1099 NEC because you need to write that income off from under you. So if your business generated $100,000, but you paid out $50,000, you need to have some kind of documented proof that you paid tax preparers or paid other individuals half of your income. Otherwise, you're going to have to write off all of that income under you. And we know as tax professionals that you have to give a 1099 NEC to any individual that you pay more than $600 to, right? And so you are more than likely paying your tax crew more than that. And so you need to give them a 1099 at the end of the year. And in order to do that properly, what do you need to have? You need to have their Social Security card, would have their telephone number. Okay. Have their Social Security number, and you need to have a valid picture ID. Okay. So again, in your own onboarding process, you need to have a valid picture ID. You need to have a Social Security card. You need to have a W-9 that is on file. And then also you need to have an application. Some of you guys don't even know the people that you are hiring. You don't know anything about their background. And I'm telling you guys this as an individual who works very closely with the IRS, this is important, that if you don't do your due diligence when you are bringing on these individuals, this stuff falls back on you. So it is important that you understand who's a part of your team. You need to have an application process. So they need to complete an application. They need to sign your security policy. You need to have a Social Security card, valid picture ID, a W-9, and also you need to make sure that they have their P10. Okay. Listen, today, what I'm saying to you, it may not necessarily mean anything to you. This stuff don't mean anything to you until when people start to get notifications from the IRS or they get in trouble. Why don't we do the right thing ahead of time? Let's not wait until our back is against the wall in order to do things right. Because what I've seen in this industry is a lot of fraudulent stuff that take place in this industry. So you got to be able to prove that you are legitimately doing the right thing with your onboarding process. And I've told you guys this several times, is that you do the same thing for everybody. So even if my sister and I, we used to work together, right? So guess what I did? I took her through the same onboarding process that I took somebody that I didn't know. Okay. So make sure that you create files for your contractors. And listen, let me tell you this. It is important that the people who work on your team, they are absolutely clear as to their position and their role with your company. They need to know that they're contractors versus employees, or if they're employees versus contractors. It is important for them to understand that. Because when they're contractors, their responsibilities are different from those who are employees. Okay. So all of this should be in your file, and you need to have it documented. We also, the final thing that you need to make sure that you have on file for the tax preparers that work under your business is that you have contracts. Put it in writing, put everything in writing. And I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit more about this a little bit later, but you want to make sure that you put everything in writing. Okay. So our team, when we bring on individuals, they also, guess what they know? They know exactly how much they're getting paid. They know the process of getting paid. They know when to expect their pay, because the one thing that I hate the most is to have tax business owners that do not pay their tax preparers. If you tell these people that you're going to pay them a certain amount on a certain day, you are responsible for doing that. You're responsible for doing that. So, and I'll talk to you guys a little bit later about this, but Crystal, you didn't call me. I see your number. So this is important. So in our contracts, we explain to our tax preparers that they're going to get paid a certain amount. All of our tax preparers, we don't pay them in check. We don't pay them in cash. We pay them direct deposit. And then also we explain to them this. We explain to them the whole drop system. So they know that they don't get paid until the IRS releases the funds of the people that are getting paid. Okay. And so for us, payroll will run Monday through Wednesday. So anybody who got a drop Monday through Wednesday, then we'll send out a whole list to them of all of those individuals that got paid. They verify that these are their people. They verify the amount that they're getting paid for these individuals. We use Thursday to go over that, and we process their payroll on Thursday, and they can expect it in their bank account on Friday. We do not play with their money. Okay. Don't play with tax preparers' money. They work hard to get these clients. They work hard to just follow whatever process and procedure that you have in place. So it's important that you pay them on time and they understand their payment schedule. All right. So it's important that you have that as part of your contract. Okay. So again, with the onboarding process, you're going to have a valid ID. You're going to have a valid ID, social security card, a W-9, an application. You're going to have their P10, and also you're going to have their contract on file. All right. So this is Dee Edwards. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you have not joined Taxpreneurs of America, I'm going to ask that you guys be sure to join our private Facebook group that is for tax professionals and tax business owners. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I pray that this has been a blessing to you guys. To learn more about us, go to www.irstaxacademy.com. I love you guys. Peace.